webinar. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello and welcome to the U.S. Department of Justice's training on the Coordinated Tribal Assistance Solicitation for fiscal year 2018. My name is Melissa Harrington and I am a lead grant program specialist with the COPS Office, Community Orienting Policing Services. I am joined by my colleague Jessica Andrew with the Office for Victims of Crime, and we'll be taking you step by step through this presentation. But before we do, we have an important announcement from my colleague Trish Saxon with BJA.
Thanks, Melissa. The Office of Justice Programs recently issued an addition to the OJP solicitation template, notifying applicants of OJP's intent in the future to expand its evaluation and data collection efforts. This addition applied to all competitive and formula solicitations involving program activities, not just the CTAS solicitation. The goal of this effort was to signal the administration's commitment to provide more information to the field about effective interventions and assist the field in their successful implementation of programs. Based on feedback from tribal leaders and the fact that the CTAS solicitation is closing soon, OJP has heard the tribe's concerns and wishes to be responsive. Therefore, OJP is withdrawing this added requirement for the fiscal year 2018 CTAS solicitation. This will allow the department time to complete its consultation process with tribes. OJP does plan to include a requirement related to this issue in the FY 2019 CTAS solicitation, with consideration of the feedback from tribal leaders during the consultation process.
Thank you, Trish. And thank you again for everyone's interest in the 2018 CTAS program. This is our final application webinar. And in this presentation, you will learn about how CTAS is designed to help you build collaboration for public safety within your community, details of what is required in the application, and how to apply. Please note that the 2018 application deadline is Tuesday, March 20th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything that you would need to apply is online. That includes a very helpful solicitation, FAQs, our general CTAS fact sheet. We just posted individual purpose area fact sheets as well. All of that is available to you online on our Tribal Justice website. Our commitment to you is a sustained partnership with tribal governments to improve justice and public safety in tribal communities. In an effort to build on the success of CTAS, DOJ asks tribes further how to further refine and improve CTAS through an online assessment tool, consultation sessions, listening sessions, and focus groups. Many of your feedback will be incorporated in each solicitation, which aims to be more user-friendly. Although CTAS provides one combined solicitation for all the purpose areas, the DOJ program offices that will administer the grant are Community Orienting Policing Services, the COPS Office, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, BJA, Office for Victims of Crime, OVC, Office on Violence Against Women, OVW, Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, OJJDP. A description of the bureaus and offices that administer the grants, their statutes attached to each purpose area, can be found again on our website at www.justice.gov/tribal. There are 9 purpose areas under CTAS 2018. The purpose areas are DOJ's tribal government-specific competitive grant programs. You may select the purpose areas that best address your tribe's concerns. Grant funding under these purpose areas are related to public safety, criminal and juvenile justice, and the needs of victims and survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and other forms of violence. The 9 purpose areas are listed on the slide for your review. Who can apply under CTAS 2018? A federally recognized tribe or an organization that is acting as an authorized designee of a federal recognized Indian tribe may apply. Alaska Native Villages and Corporations, tribal consortium consisting of 2 or more federally recognized tribes, Please note tribal designees are only eligible under Purpose Area 5, 6, and 7. Under Purpose Area 1, applicants must have an established law enforcement agency that is operational as of March 20th, 2018, which is the closing date of this application, or receive services through a new or existing contract for law enforcement services with the Bureau of Indian Affairs or a state or local agency. Under Purpose Area 5, tribal designees are eligible participants. CTAS FY 2016 and or 2017 Tribal Governments Program Purpose Area Number 5 awardees are not eligible to apply for 2018 Tribal Governments Program. CTAS Fiscal Year 15 or earlier Tribal Governments Program awardees are generally eligible depending on the remaining balances of existing awards. Please see the solicitation online for further details. Under Purpose Area 6 and 7, tribal designees are eligible participants and must provide a tribal resolution or other satisfactory of legal enactment from the tribe as part of the application. Again, please see the current solicitation for more information about the required content for the resolution or other equivalent legal enactment. If the applicant receives Purpose Area 6 funding in fiscal year 2017, the applicant is not eligible to receive Purpose Area 6 funding in fiscal year 2018, but would be eligible to do so in 2019. Same for Purpose Area 6. If an applicant receives Purpose Area 7 funding in fiscal year 2017, then the applicant is not eligible to receive Purpose Area 7 funding in 2018, but would be eligible in 2019. Under Purpose Areas 8 and 9, tribal designees are not eligible to apply. Under Purpose Area 8, federally recognized tribes that have received OJJ-DP funding through the fiscal year 2014 Tribal Healing to Wellness Court responses to underage drinking initiative solicitation, or the fiscal year 2015, 2016, or 2017 CTAS OJJ-DP Purpose Area 8 are not eligible to apply for funds in this purpose area. Under Purpose Area 9, awardees that have a period of performance end date on or after June 30th, 2019, at the time of application are not eligible to apply for funds under the 2018 CTAS Purpose Area Number 9. And now I'll turn this presentation over to Jessica Andrew with the Office for Victims of Crime.
Thank you, Melissa. Again, my name is Jessica Andrew, and I'm with the Office for Victims of Crime, and I'll be walking you through the final slides before we open up for questions. It is likely that you are already familiar with the application timeline, but I do briefly want to go over a couple of key dates. The solicitation was announced on January 3rd and will remain open until March 20th. All applications are due by 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 20th. Applications submitted after the deadline will not be considered for funding, so please make sure you give yourself enough time to submit your applications and to double check that you have all the required documents. Once the solicitation has closed, the program offices will begin the review process. Please know that this is a very rigorous process and it will take several months. And as in similar years, DOJ expects to make a formal announcement of who is awarded by September 30th. And projects will start on or after October 1st. So how do you apply? Applications are submitted through the Grants Management System, also known as GMS, for one applicant package per tribe will be accepted. Basically, if your tribe is applying for 4 different purpose areas, you must come together and submit those proposals under one application package. So if multiple applicants are submitted, only the last one will be considered for funding. Applications or applicants who cannot submit their application electronically should have called GMS by February 15th. At this point, if you have not already done so, it is too late to submit paper applications. The next slide is a continuation on how to apply. As you can see here, there are several steps involved in the application process. You have to require a DUNS number, acquire and review your SAM number, make sure it's updated, gain access to GMS, and of course, the most important part, applying and making sure that you have all the required documents needed for your application. So please do not wait until the last minute to do all these things. Applicants are urged to submit their applications at least 72 hours prior to the due date. So please submit early. Also, for additional information on how to apply, you can review Section H of the CTAS solicitation. In order to be considered for funding, applicants must submit the following documents: the Tribal Community and Justice Profile, the Purpose Area Narrative for each purpose area in which you are applying for, the Budget Detail Worksheet and Budget Narrative, and a project and program timeline for each purpose area for which you are applying for. Applicants that are missing these items will not be considered for funding. It is the responsibility of the applicant to ensure that the application is complete and submitted by the deadline. If you fail to comply with the length requirement guidance stated in the solicitation, this is considered non-compliance with the solicitation and will be taken into consideration during the peer review process. So again, if you have any questions about what must be included, please see Section D of the CTAS solicitation. On this slide, it shows what the application should include. I will stress this to you that you need to review each purpose area thoroughly to determine what other attachments are required. Applicants should submit a resolution, a letter, or an affidavit, or other documentation as appropriate for that tribe to certify that the applicant has the legal authority to apply for CTAS awards on behalf of a tribe. This documentation must be current. It must be sufficient to demonstrate the authority of the applicant. It must contain authorized signatures. We all know how hard you and your team have worked to secure funding to help the tribal communities. The DOJ has created an online guide to help tribes plan and prepare for a strong application. This useful online guide was designed to help you focus on your needs and the goals, design your program, form partnerships, and strengthen your application. So if you are new to CTAS or to grants, we highly suggest that you check out the guide and use the link on the screen. As many of you know, CTAS has sponsored 10 different webinars to educate applicants on the CTAS application requirements, educate you on our specific purpose areas, as well as meeting the grant budgetary requirements and preparing you to access grant funds. As you know, this is the final webinar of the series. However, if you missed a session, these webinars are available on the Tribal Justice website. The link is listed on the screen, and we highly recommend that you listen to, if you have not already done so, the Budget Development and Accessing Grant Funds session. On the screen here, we have two very pieces of contact information that you will want to keep handy during the application submission. For technical assistance with submitting your application, please contact the GMS Help Desk. The GMS Help Desk is open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For general assistance with the solicitation requirements, please contact the DOJ Response Center. They are also open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and their phone numbers and emails are on the screen. So do you need more help? Information about CTAS, including the solicitation announcements and trainings and technical assistance opportunities, can be found on the DOJ Tribal Justice website. Again, that website is www.justice.gov/tribal. If you would like to sign up for email updates, on the open solicitation page under Training and Technical Assistance, you can sign up using, you can sign up for email notifications with the information on the screen. At this time, we will now start taking questions. As a reminder, we have representation from each purpose area here in the room. So if you have a general question or a specific purpose area question, please feel free to enter that into the chat box.
Hello, everyone. This is Gandra Lobo calling in from the Training and Technical Assistance Center
We'll start the question and answer portion of the webinar. If you do have a question for any of the people on the line today from CTAS, please type it into the question and answer pod. I will read your question out loud and the representative will answer.
Do we have any questions yet?
Yes, we have the first question coming in. I have the following programmatic question with regard to Purpose Area 5.
Okay.
Can project activities include the reduction of abuse against and increased safety for Indian elders?
Let's talk about that offline. Yes, but shoot me an email and we'll talk about specifics because it could depend on some things. But shoot me an email at james.smith12@usdoj.gov and we'll get you a clearer answer. Surface level, yes, but it would just depend on what you're thinking.
Next question. Hi there. In prior years, we were required to include an application overview with the application. Problem, strategy to address problem, PA addressing the problem. The FOA isn't entirely clear whether it's required this year. Can you please clarify?
Yes, so 2 years ago, the application overview replaced the executive summary. You still need to submit that. It is still a required part of the application. Although it's not scored, it is still required.
Next question. Where do we download the budget detail worksheet?
You can download the budget worksheet found in GMS.
Next question. The Financial Management and System of Internal Controls questionnaire that I downloaded from the GMS website does not allow me to print the document because it is protected by a password. I contacted the help desk and they could not figure out the problem. Help desk said they would send this problem to Tier 2, but I have not been contacted. What should I do for signatures?
Question. Can you repeat the question?
The Financial Management and System of Internal Control questionnaire that I downloaded from the GMS website does not allow me to print the documents because it is protected by a password. I contacted the help desk and they could not figure out the problem. Help desk said they would send this problem to Tier 2, but I have not been contacted. What should I do for signatures?
Okay, sorry about that first. Two thoughts. First, I will definitely look into this issue. I just typed in my email address. Whoever asked that question, if you can send an email to james.smith12. But in the meantime, to not hold you up until I get an answer, I would get hard signatures and then you can scan it as a PDF.
The problem is they can't print.
Oh, they can't print it. All right, we'll get back to you. We'll get it figured out. I'll get it escalated. Sorry that it's taken so long for someone to respond to you.
Okay, and Daniel, you're the one who asked the question. If you look in the chat, Jessica Andrews, she provided James' email address. Next question. If our tribe is not high-risk status, do we still need to submit a statement on this? Does it need to be from the council?
Yeah.
It should be included in your application submission.
But I believe it just needs to be a written statement. It doesn't have to be certified by council.
Next question. Is there a difference on the demographic form from last year? PA1, and is the accounting statement needed for PA1?
So
This year, the demographic form is only required for Purpose Area 1 applicants. And the accounting statement, I'm not sure if you can elaborate, Mr. Lynn, on your question about that. I don't know what accounting statement you mean, but the demographics form is basically you're painting your strengths and weaknesses. And again, this information is strictly for Purpose Area 1 applicants. And if you can please elaborate on the accounting statement question.
Okay, next question. One of the agencies that we requested a letter of support from has requested the point of contact information for Purpose Area number 7, including mailing address. Can you provide that?
We can go ahead and put that in the chat box so that you have it. Jessica Andrew will be typing that in.
Okay, next question. Purpose Area 9. Can you please summarize the required trainings and the location/days required to budget for trainings?
Sure. So this is Kara McDonough with Purpose Area 9, and in the solicitation we're just looking through that now to find the actual guidance on the training. Okay, so we have several required trainings, and we would like you to build in one 3-day training for 4 people. This is not likely to be in Washington, D.C., but we ask you to budget for Washington, D.C. just to make sure that there's enough in your budget. The second one is a Purpose Area 9 specific training for 2 people, also to use Washington, D.C., and another specific Purpose Area 9 training for 2 people. So that's 3 sessions that are specific to our Purpose Area 9. And in addition to that, there's one DOJ-wide CTAS orientation, and that is for 2 people. So altogether, that's 4 events that we're asking you to budget for.
Okay, next question. Purpose Area 5. Who signs the confidentiality document? Tribal designee, or does that need to be signed by our tribal president?
Well, is the tribe applying or is the designee applying? That's what I'm, because it seems like you're asking me. So is the tribe applying itself or is someone applying on behalf of the tribe would be my response back. If the tribe is applying, then your tribal chairman, sometimes I've seen authorized reps sign it as well, but it shouldn't just be like your financial point of contact or the person who's going to be programmatically managing in the grant. It should not be those people. It should be someone with authority like your tribal chairman, your tribal president, or I've even in some cases seen the authorized rep. Those are all acceptable.
Okay, next question. I have a fiscal year 2015 Purpose Area 8 grant. Can I apply for a fiscal year 2018 Purpose Area 9 grant?
So you cannot apply for Purpose Area 8 if you have a 2015 grant, then you are not eligible to apply for a Purpose Area 8 grant.
Yeah, but I think she's asking for a 9.
Yeah.
Come to the microphone.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
let me repeat the question.
Thank you.
I have a fiscal year 2015 Purpose Area 8 grant. Can I apply for a fiscal year 2018 Purpose Area 9 grant?
Okay, thanks so much. Sorry for the confusion there. The answer to your question is yes. Having a Purpose Area 8 grant in 2015 does not prohibit you from applying for a Purpose Area 9 grant this year.
Next question. How can I persuade our tribal administrator and tribal council that I need an assistant, even it is a part-timer? The previous advocate had one. Does this need to be written in the budget, and if so, what line item does it need to be put under?
For any anything that you're looking for CTAS funding for, regardless of the purpose area, that has to be included in the application. Otherwise, CTAS funding can't be used to pay for it. So as far as does it need to be in the application, yes. As far as being able to convince council, that's an internal matter that we would not be able to assist with, unfortunately.
And I would just add one caveat to that. Just because you put it in your application and you submit it, you still need to wait till you get your final cleared approved budget from whatever purpose area to see if that ultimately made the cut. So just because you include it doesn't mean you'll end up getting it. Because sometimes we look at things that are brought up and we have to disallow them because they don't make sense or they're not allowable. So I would wait until you get your actual, that your budget is cleared.
And just one other item there is, if you are adding an assistant, and whether it's a part-time assistant or a full-time assistant, and you were to include it in your budget, it would go under the line item of personnel.
Okay. And I do see a question in the chat that came in a little while ago. I do apologize. Did you say that this year demographic statement is no longer required for Purpose Area 1?
The demographic form is required for all Purpose Area 1 applicants.
But only purpose area
And
1.
only for Purpose Area 1.
All right, thank you. Another question. The tribe has a DUNS number already for its existing CTAS grants that were awarded last year. Do we need to obtain a new DUNS number for the upcoming grant application, or do we use the same DUNS that we've had?
You can use the same one. That 9-digit number, you can use the same one. Just keep your SAM registration active. That's something that you should work on every year.
Okay, and then another question from the chat. Sorry for my confusion, but is a SF424 necessary in this submittal?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, going back to the question and answer pod, there was a note in the guidelines that a sample of a maintenance of effort certification would be posted, but thus far I haven't been able to find one. Can you please clarify whether there is one posted, and if so, where? Thank you.
Amazing. I don't ever recall that.
Ms. Benning, if it would be helpful for us if you might be able to clarify where you saw the guideline, which guidelines you're referring to, about the sample of the maintenance of effort certification. It may be that it's related to a particular purpose area, so if you could clarify that for us in the chat box, it would help us to answer your question.
Okay, next question. I am confused on the CTAS training. How many trainings? Once for each year of the grant to Washington, D.C., for how many days?
Sorry about the confusion here. My name's Kara. I'm speaking for Purpose Area 9. And I was the person who was speaking earlier about the training. I'm not sure if you're asking, each purpose area has its own requirements for training. So that would be the first thing that I would advise you, is if, depending on which purpose area you are applying for, you would want to look specifically in the CTAS solicitation to see, how many trainings that they're asking you to budget for. So, for example, in Purpose Area 9 for the Tribal Youth Program, it spells out exactly what the training requirements are on page 53 of the solicitation. And for purpose area 8, it's spelled out on page 50 of the solicitation. And so for those 2 purpose areas, it is 1 3-day training in DC for 4 people, and then 2 trainings for 2 people for 2 days in Washington, D.C., and then 1 CTAS orientation for 2 people for 2 days. If you have a question, if someone else has another question about a different purpose area and their requirements, if you could type that in the chat box, we can get you a more specific answer.
This is James. I'll go ahead and clarify that same situation for OBW. So for anyone applying for Purpose Area 5, it could be 2 or 3, and I explain what I mean by that. OBW has its own mandatory new grantee orientation that is not optional. You have to be there. We also have, for the first time this year, we added our Tribal Summit that we usually have at the end of August as a requirement starting in 2018. So those 2, without a doubt, you have to budget for. Because our new grantee orientation is mandatory, anybody who is a Purpose Area 5 applicant and awardee only, if you only apply to Purpose Area 5, you're not applying to anything else, and you get awarded for Purpose Area 5, the CTAS new grantee orientation would be optional to you at that point. If you want to come, I'd love to see you and talk to you, but you don't have to because OBW has its own. However, if you are awarded OBW's Purpose Area 5 award in another purpose area, then the CTAS orientation becomes mandatory to you at that point because you would have to go for the other purpose areas. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, you can email me directly and I would be happy to have a conversation about it or explain it, but I think it makes sense.
Okay, next question. Is the budget detail worksheet the same as last year? Can I use the same form? Is
No,
S424 needed?
Absolutely not. It's not the same form. As you know, technology changes every year, so this year's form is new and improved with Microsoft updates. In addition, we've added some additional pieces of information on it that will help us in our review, so please absolutely do not use last year's. Use the one in GMS for this year. If you are having problems getting it, please reach out to the Tribal Grants email address in the solicitation and we can get it to you directly if you're having problems downloading it from GMS, but do not use a prior year's.
And the SF424 is required.
Okay, next question. Is there a specific form that can be filled out for the disclosure of lobbying activities? And if so, where can I go to retrieve this form to fill out?
Yeah, there actually is, and we can.
We're going to type the address for that form into the chat box. And you should be able to just click on that link and receive the form that way.
Okay, and Daniel, just to let you know, Tabitha Keaton has responded to your question in regards to the GMS download. If you look Tabitha Keaton in the chat box, she put, "This is what I received in an email from GMS Help Desk." And there is a link right there. The form can be obtained at this link to help you out. Another question coming in from the chat box. Can only tribes with detention facilities able to get priority consideration? If not, will a reso of a deputization agreement with the BIA be sufficient?
Is this question a general CTAS question, or is this specific to Purpose Area 4?
Yeah, this is Julius, Trish. I heard I'm not really clear on what the question's asking, but
Let me repeat it. Can only tribes with detention facilities able to get priority consideration? If not, will a reso of a deputization agreement with the BIA be sufficient? Purpose Area 1 question.
So in CTAS, the only priority consideration that we have overall is specific to those tribes that have previously received a Purpose Area 2 strategic planning award and have gone through the entire strategic planning process, submitted a finalized strategic plan that has been approved. After that, tribes have the opportunity to come in for one CTAS cycle after that to request priority consideration for those purpose areas that are directly connected to their approved strategic plan. This question doesn't quite sound like it's related to this, so I'm not certain what it is related to, but that's the only priority consideration that is available in CTAS at this time.
Okay, and further on down, Marilyn is saying Purpose Area 1 question, priority question, re-COPS. Yes, she says, thanks, I'm referring to press release 17.976.
Right, and that's referencing another grant program that the COPS office offers. But as Trish mentioned, the priority consideration is primarily for the Purpose Area 2 strategic planning. So please, Marilyn, please disregard that press release. It is not applicable to the CTAS application, but rather potentially the COPS hiring program, which is a separate grant program that's still under development for 2018.
Next question from the question and answer pod. May you please type all the required training in the chat for Purpose Area 9. My internet is not great in Alaska and I didn't hear what she said. Thank you.
Certainly, I'll go ahead and type that in.
All right, thank you. Next question, what is SF424?
It's a standard. It's basically an overview. Your authorized representative, your contact information. It's an overview standard form that just provides basic information of your tribe and your authorized rep. There's also a person or a point of contact who is submitting the application. It's a general form that provides address, legal EIN number, how much your potential costs of the project are. But it's just a general standard
Formality type of.
bureaucratic.
It's essentially a single-page cover sheet that goes with all of the any grant application you're submitting through GMS and probably other systems as well. So it's a one-page form that is essentially a cover sheet and that you fill out. You'll be able to access that in the GMS system.
Great. Next question. Regarding Purpose Area 5 training, if the tribe is submitting funding requests to Purpose Area 1, 3, and 5, should we budget for Purpose Area 5 optional training in case awards are not received in Purpose Areas 1 and 3?
So let me explain it again. So if you're okay. So if you were applying to Purpose Area 5 only, you would only need to budget, if that's the only purpose area you're applying for and you're praying hard that you're going to get that, and we hope you do, submit a budget, in your budget include for the mandatory new grantee orientation and the tribal summit are the only two you would need to apply for. If you are applying for Purpose Area 5 in any other purpose area, then you're going to need to include funds or budget funds for the CTAS new grantee orientation, but you don't necessarily have to put that in your OBW's budget request because you wouldn't be going to it for OBW. You can. I'm not telling you you don't have to, but you can really put it in any purpose area you want. But for the person asking that question, I'd love for you to give me a call, and we can definitely talk about it more in detail. I know sometimes over webinars it's hard to explain, but I'm happy to explain it in better detail for you.
And in our solicitation, in each purpose area, we outline what's allowable, what's not, and there's a section for each purpose area about training. So if you want to refer to each of the purpose areas, and you can review the training paragraph that we have, as well as the frequently asked questions.
Okay, next question. The specialized training for law enforcement, does it have to be at FETC, or can it be contracted and brought to the tribal LE agency?
Sure. It does not have to be at FETC. Whatever type of specialized training you're interested in, how you want to go about doing that, you'll just spell it out in our budget worksheet. This is for Purpose Area 1.
Okay, and Donna Brown, she's stating the link for the lobbying form is not working.
Okay, what we're going to do, I see that there's been some back and forth on the financial capability questionnaire. And Tabitha, thanks so much for sharing with us what you received from the help desk. But we want to make sure that that is absolutely the case. So we're going to ask our Chief Financial Office to make sure that that is accurate. And we're also going to go back and check the lobbying link. And we're going to send out, when we send out the, we'll send out a link to this webinar to everyone who is registered and to everyone who's on the line. And when we send out the link to this webinar in the thank you email, we will include the answer to both those questions and exactly where you can get those documents and what the final answer is on the financial capability questionnaire.
All right, next question. Is disclosure of lobbying activities and pending application a requirement to be submitted?
Not the so we can't refer to. No, they refer to the DOJ Response Center. And
Okay, the answer to that is yes.
Okay, I don't see any more questions coming through. I just wanted to remind everybody that is on the line, we have a webinar survey on the left corner box of your screen. Please click on that link and hit Browse To. It will take you to a survey for today's webinar. Please fill that out for us and let us know so we can help plan for next year. Also, if you have, once the webinar ends, if you have any additional questions, you can contact the DOJ Response Center, Tribal Grants at usdoj.gov, or call them toll-free at 1-800-421-6770. And we have some more questions coming in. Can the sample letter of support from Purpose Area 5 be adapted and used for another purpose area?
I would not do that. I would reach out via the response center's email address and reach out to the point of contact for that specific purpose area. Each purpose area has a way in which they may want their support letters done. And on the CTAS website, I provided examples for what OBW is looking for, so you shouldn't automatically interpret that to be okay for another purpose area. You should reach out to them and see exactly what their requirements for that letter are.
All right, another question. Is the financial management system of controls needed for Purpose Area 1, and we need to include a statement of high risk even if we're not?
No, those items are not necessary for application submission,
For purpose area
for purpose area 1.
Okay. Next question. We specifically want a female officer in Purpose Area 1 and can justify this. However, our judge thinks this would be considered discrimination. Should we ask for an officer generally or include our team's decision?
Your department is eligible to apply for entry-level salaries and benefits for an officer. Whether that's a female or a male is up to your department. We're not going to award you either way, whether it's in a male officer or a female officer. So when you're submitting an application, it's just based on the actual position, whether or not it's a male or female.
All right. We have a
I don't know
couple
if that
questions.
answers your question, but it's the position that we're asking you to request, not the kind of position.
I'm not sure if we answered the high risk question, but if you are high risk, yes, you must follow the steps that are listed here. Oh, sorry.
for PA1.
I'm sorry. So the high risk applies to all the purpose areas. So if you are high risk, you need to follow the steps laid here. However, if you're not high risk, a simple statement stating that you are not is still needed.
So for purpose area 1, you can request an entry-level salaries and benefits of an officer, period.
Okay, going over to the chat. Let's see. If the tribe is not high risk, does the tribe still need to submit a statement? And I think we covered that one. Can a letter of support from a partner agency serve as the documentation of collaboration?
Ask that question again.
Can a letter of support from a partner agency serve as the documentation of collaboration?
I can't answer that definitively, and part of me is leaning towards no, because it would depend on what that letter says. If it just says that they're supporting that you get awarded, that's not telling me how you're working together. So you have to think about it in two different aspects. A collaborative letter should say how you guys are partnering and working together, what the benefits of that is, what the outcomes are going to be. That is a collaborative letter.
Okay, staying in the chat, under purpose area number 5, should I only budget for one attendee to attend the 2 mandatory trainings?
Absolutely not. So for put at least 3 for both.
Purpose area 5, so the sample LOS for doc of collaboration will work, executed by the partner.
I'm not sure if I understand the question. So I'll answer it the way that I am interpreting it. So the letter is required. You have to do this collaborative support letter. We provided an example. You could use that example. It doesn't have to look exactly like that, but the example was provided to give you an idea of the types of things that we need to see, what the letter needs to be comprised of. As to how you choose to execute that, I'll let you pick the wording and the verbiage and all that good stuff, but it just needs to have those main elements that the sample has, and we need to see clearly what the partnership is.
Alrighty. Back over to the Q&A. How is high risk determined?
It's a formal designation. It's not for, it's not a casual label that you would put on yourselves or that we would put on you. It's a formal determination based on a number of different factors related to both your existing structure and your history with the agency. So if you have high-risk status, you will have been notified of that status by DOJ or whatever federal agency you are connected with that caused that high-risk status. If you've not been notified of that, you're not high-risk.
Next question. We want female to work with Purpose Area 9 Girls Empowerment Group. So we just identify this in question 13 of the narrative.
Yes, in the narrative, you are asked to outline exactly what it is that your program is going to be, and you can talk about that in that narrative, the program narrative.
Okay, next question. Just to be clear, how many people should attend Purpose Area 1 training?
We're looking for 2 representatives to attend the required CTAS grantee orientation.
One time over the life of the award.
And you need
One
to,
time over the life of the award, which is for 3 years.
and I think it's fair to say this for all of the purpose areas. We are looking for at least one of those people needs to be a financial point of contact, and the other person needs to be the person whether it's your program manager or your project coordinator. For those people need to be the ones attending the new grantee orientation.
That's the only required training for Purpose Area 1, the new grantee orientation.
Okay, I'm going back over to the chat. Purpose Area 1 budget item narrative. Please give an example. I'm used to providing the narrative in the bigger response box below, but this is different.
Sure, it's just a little bit more information. So, for example, you're asking for 10 radios. In the new line item description, you would say something like Motorola ABC radios at X dollars to be put into 10 police cars. It's just a further description of what you're asking for.
Okay,
Just
staying with
expanding it. Mm-hmm.
Staying with the chat. Documentation of collaboration should be a letter of commitment, not support, showing responsibilities, benchmarks, etc. Correct? Any sample template available?
There are samples that I provided, but to think of, in essence, your collaboration letter needs to show me or anyone who's reviewing your information for PA5 what that partnership is, how you guys are working together, how that fits into the goals of the application that you submitted. And that can be a letter, that can be a letter with other attachments if you want to go up and beyond, but at the very least it needs to be a letter explaining what that partnership looks like and that collaboration looks like.
Okay.
And yes, I have seen folks have someone write saying we're going to work with A organization is going to work with B organization who's applying and this is how this is going to look. That could work too.
Okay, next question. How many years back should data be collected on Purpose Area 1?
That's a great question. We have some questions on the demographics form that I'm pulling up now to determine how far back. If you can give me a minute, I can answer your question.
Where's the question?
How far back is the crime data bill on the demographics form?
I don't know that.
There's not really a right or wrong answer to that, but let me try to find it.
If we can go ahead and move on to the next question
Yeah.
and give Melissa a minute to find that information, we'll come back to your question.
Okay, next question. Can you repeat where to find the sample letter of support and contact person to address the letter for Purpose Area 3?
There's not a specific format or requirement for Purpose Area 3 letters of support, so we don't have a sample, but I'm the person that should be directed to. and it's Trish Baxton. Do you mind, Kara? Kara is going to type that into the chat box for you.
Okay, moving on. Is the CTAS Purpose Area 5 application available every year?
Well, we were part of CTAS every year, just like every other purpose area. If you were asking if you could apply every year, that's a different story. It would depend on how many open awards you have, when the last time you got awarded, a variety of factors. But yes, the solicitation itself is in the program to apply for it is open every year, yes.
And the question about the demographics form, how far back do you go? The demographics form isn't so specific in terms of dates. However, we recommend you use the most recent available data that you have. And to the best of your ability, using the UCR crime definitions, providing that to help you answer some of the questions we have on the demographics form.
Okay, we have, looks like 2 more questions, and we have about 3 minutes to go. Next question. What is the Financial Management and System of Internal Control questionnaire, and where is this located?
It's on the CTAS website. And if you go to the CTAS website and you look under miscellaneous documents, it's one of the last 2 or 3 listed there.
Next question. Does our grant have to last 3 years, even if we're just purchasing items, and do we need to state the time frame of our grant?
This depends on which purpose area you're applying for. So each purpose area has their own requirements in terms of the length of the grant. And so you would want to go through each of the purpose area descriptions in the CTAS application to see what the time frame that's required is.
But you would want to submit a timeline regardless, a detailed timeline regardless of how long the grant's going to be and what purpose area it's with. If there aren't any more questions, there are 2. Oh, there are 2? Okay.
Yes, and I have a question from the chat that we need to get to. Which purpose areas does the documentation of collaboration refer to?
OVW, Purpose Area 5, definitely.
All right, going back to the question and answer pod, if we were to purchase or lease a vehicle, which line item do we place it under?
Well, it would depend. You use both categories, so if you're purchasing a vehicle, it should show up under equipment. However, if you're leasing it, then it's a contract and it should be under a contractual agreement.
Yeah, for OVW, the purpose area 5, similar to like how Michael said. However, even if you're leasing the vehicle, and I just want to include this, you want to make sure that you do a cost comparison analysis before just deciding to lease or purchase. You have to ensure that you're utilizing the funds properly. So if you do decide to purchase, please include a detailed narrative of the purpose of the purchase, quotes, and supporting documentation. Same thing if you do a lease as well.
Okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining today. If your question was not answered,